Welcome to Heal the New Sex, where we discuss all things healing, self-love, and relationships. My name is Samantha. I am a licensed therapist and coach. One of the Heal Squad members had a video suggestion, and she asked a question, so I decided today that I would just do a video based off of the question that she asked. She asked, I believe this is a she. Most of my viewers are women, so if it's not, please forgive me. Can you make a video about how to get over someone you never dated or almost dated, but then they rejected you and put you in the friend zone? Now, the first thing I thought about when I saw this question, because I believe it's multifaceted, the first thing I thought about was limerence. And so I want to briefly talk about limerence, what it is, how it shows up in dating, especially for women, because many of us grew up, I'm a millennial. So I remember I watched all the Disney movies growing up, especially the ones with the princesses, right? So Sleeping Beauty and Snow White and Aladdin. Every time there was a Disney movie coming out, I was watching that movie. I was watching the movies. And many of us as women have grown up being able to fantasize about what we want our relationship to look like. So we're going to meet a man and we know what our wedding's going to look like. We know the names of our children. We know how many children we're going to have. So we really have engaged in limerent behavior, but we didn't have an object in which we were an object of our attention. So we didn't have a man, but we were engaging in limerent behavior. And I believe every woman engages in it in different levels. Okay, so limerence, let me say this. Limerence, the state of being infatuated or obsessed with another person, typically experienced involuntarily, and characterized by a strong desire for that person to share the same feelings that you have for them towards you. So that's limerence. I see this quite often, especially sometimes for women who may feel like, you can't shoot your shot or you can't show any interest. They may have a strong interest as it relates to a man. They may begin to engage in certain behaviors, be very nice, be very kind, be very supportive, showing up to things for him. And he may not understand or may not understand, but he may just think that she's being friendly, right? But really for her, she's having these intense emotions. Or there is the unhealthy man who realizes, okay, she likes me. And so then he plays on that. But I want to get to the root of how do I get past a person that I may have never dated? Now, I don't know if this was like a situationship or friends with benefits, or it truly was, there was a person who I had a great attraction towards, and I just never dated them. I'm not quite sure. But this is how I feel about getting over someone, the first part, that you never dated. One, you have to address the limerence. You have to address, how did you get into a place of liking a person that intensely and it wasn't reciprocated? I think one thing for women, we have to be mindful that when a man is not showing interest in us, then we need to check our feelings, our emotions, our heart, our soul, our mind, whatever it is, we need to check that. You should guard your heart and you should protect your heart. Don't allow yourself to be overly invested when the man is not showing that he is invested in you, okay? So you need to identify that first. Identify, how did I get to the place or the space of liking a man and really being invested in him, and he was not showing me any type of sign that he was interested in me? And I want you to do this from a place of non-judgment. And let me say this, because I see this sometimes in my comments. As a therapist, I really get bothered when I see women talking negatively about themselves, especially in my comments. All of my clients know if they say something negative about themselves and such, who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Okay? So please don't say anything negative about comments. I just don't like that. That breaks my heart when you talk negatively about yourself. Because when you talk about yourself so negatively freely on the internet, I can imagine how you are emotionally abusive to yourself. Okay, so as I'm teaching you, I'm always teaching you from a place of love and a place of judgment, and not a place of judgment. Forgive me, y'all, and not a place of judgment. Okay, and I don't want you judging yourself in the things that in the comments, okay, or even in your thoughts as you're hearing me. Please don't do that. All right. So as you're taking inventory of, how did I allow myself to be more emotionally invested in this person than they were in me? I want you to do that from a non-judgmental place. Now, many of us grew up, you may have anxious attachment, avoided anxious attachment, you may have grown up where your parents withheld approval and acceptance from you. So you go out into romantic spaces looking for that. But what happens is, if you don't have a healthy baseline or a healthy foundation, then you go looking for men who do the same things to you that your mother and your father did. Okay, so there may be also some deeper work that you have to do in order to address, how was I giving so much emotionally to this person and they were rejecting me? They were telling me or showing me that they were not interested in me. All right, so that's the first part. Let me see. And it says, or almost dated and they rejected you, put you in the friend zone. Now, rejection hurts. Let me say that. Some people are like, rejection is God's protection. And I feel like that minimizes the sting. Rejection hurts. And oftentimes we internalize rejections as if there was something wrong with us. Sometimes rejection doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you, just means that that person made a decision. I always tell my clients this. When I go to Baskin Robbins, all I want is pralines and cream, okay? I don't want nothing else but some pralines and cream. Baskin Robbins got 31 flavors. They really got more than 31 flavors because every year it's like they're coming out with a new ice cream based off the season. However, when I go to Baskin Robbins, that's all I want. Does that mean that the other flavors are not good? No, that's not what that means. That means that these taste buds right here only want pralines and cream. Sometimes we have to understand that we are not somebody's cup of tea. And if they rejected us, instead of taking it as if there's something wrong with us, we just accept it as that person is saying no thank you. Does that mean you're not fly? Does that mean you're not awesome? Does that mean you're not that girl? Does that mean you're not somebody else's dream girl? No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. And so don't internalize or interpret someone's rejection of you or them putting you in the friend zone as if there's something wrong with you. Don't go into the, oh, what's wrong with me? What should I do? No. Okay. All right. And then let's say this. They may have put you in their friend zone, but that don't mean you got to be their friend. That do not mean you got to be their friend. Okay. So he put you in the friend zone. Oh, I just want to be friends. Okay, that's fine. And you let them, well, I wasn't interested in being your friend. Now, over here, we believe in being friends first and then pursuing a romantic relationship, right? But if ultimately that's not what you want, be done with it. Okay. He says a friend zone. Then you say, okay, that's great. I'm not interested in that, but I wish you the best. And let me say something as well. Sometimes a man will put you in the friend zone because there's something else he wants to explore. He may think you're a great woman, but there's something else he has his eye on. So he wants to put you in the friend zone to hold you there, because many women will sit there and they'll stay there. So he's putting you in the friend zone so that he can move forward. And then when that doesn't work, he's going to come back and get you. Don't let no man put you in a friend zone and then come back and get you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? I did a video. I can't remember the title of it, but I'll tag it here. And I talked about my 3 B's. I got this from Tony Gaskins, but I talked about my 3 B's. So I also want you to look at, in these situations, the behaviors that you missed. What red flags did you miss as it relates to engaging in these situations with a man who, having feelings for a man who never dated you, or one you almost dated but rejected you, right? What behaviors did you miss that was a clear sign that he really wasn't into you like that, okay? Then also, what boundaries did you allow him to violate, or you violated yourself in order to be accepted or approved by this man? You need to check that. And lastly, clearly, there were no benefits in these situations, right? I always talk about, in relationships, we are mutually choosing each other. From this situation, it sounds like it wasn't a situation where you were setting yourself up to make a decision on if you wanted to move forward in this relationship. In these situations, you were being, maybe you weren't being passive, but in your dating, and maybe how you date, you usually sit back and wait to be selected and wait to be chosen. No, we believe in mutual selection. We choose each other. We both make a decision if we want to be in this relationship and if we want to move forward. Okay. Well, I hope that answers your question. If not, just send me, just comment below and I'll be sure to send you a message back. This is Heal the New Sexy. My name is Cynthia. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.